Mm. All right, moving on to a more somber note. The Tyre Nichols situation. If you don't know Tyre Nichols, I think he was 29.
I'm gonna say it.
Because I remember thinking when I heard his age, I was like, man, he ain't that much older. I
You heard
mean,
what?
he's when I heard his age, I was thinking like
Oh.
he's around my age. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah. That's why I remember feeling that way.
Yeah, I think he has a daughter, but a couple weeks ago, I think he was basically beaten to death by 5 black police officers.
I mean, yes.
Yeah.
5 was arrested, but I think it ended up being 7, 12 altogether, including the EMTs and then like other officers that wasn't named.
Mm. And I think like a few days later, he died in the hospital from the beating he received.
I think he was 29. You're right.
29. I purposely have not been following the case just because at this particular moment, I don't think I can handle it.
Right.
I definitely did not watch the video. Don't think I can handle it right now. So I'm gonna let you take the lead with the details, what you want to say.
You ever seen wild dogs hunt? Like
Yeah.
African dogs? How it's like it's intentional, decisiveness. It's the skill of the hunt you see in those animals.
Yeah.
And they doing it for survival, right? This is kind of the same thing minus the survival part. It was so instinctive of these officers on what they did. It was malicious. It was like it seems very intentional. It seemed there was a lack of like empathy there.
Yeah.
Complete empathy.
From what I've heard of how casual they were, you can tell that like this is something that's been happening with them. And they're Scorpion unit or whatever.
Scorpion unit, yes.
That this was like another day in the office for them.
Yeah, that was another guy. I forgot his name, but he was like, it was another guy. He was getting pizza.
Yeah.
And then they harassed him like he was getting in the car, whatever he was doing. They pulled him out, put a gun to his head. Who drugs it is? He was like, yo, I'm just here getting pizza, trying to go home. And they harassed him. And then they did the normal police stuff. Well, not the normal police stuff, the police stuff that they do as far as harassing them and doing like stuff that's above the law.
Yeah.
And he was like, I called the investigating unit to have them, internal affairs, to have them investigated because they violated my rights.
Yeah.
4 days before they did this to Tyre Nichols. So if they would did the investigation, suspended him, he would still be alive. They said that he was reckless driving, driving onto oncoming traffic. There's no evidence of that. There have yet to be any evidence of the reason why they have stopped him.
Yeah.
For any of that. They said that he was trying to reach for their gun. He said that he grabbed somebody's belt. There was no mention of them punching or kicking them in the police report. And if you watch the video, there's no evidence of none of the other stuff they reported either. So it's not only that they did this, but they lied about it. If you watch the video, especially in the beginning when they put him out the car, he don't even know why they even pulling him over.
Yeah.
What did I do? They immediately come to the door aggressive. They said he came out sweating profusely. They said he came out. They didn't mention the fact that they pulled him out, snatched him, put him on the ground, yelling at him, "I'm gonna break your effing arm if you don't do this, that, and the third." They was giving him confusing. Have you ever seen that video of them? My man crawling on the ground. Yeah, you seen
the
that.
white guy in the hotel room.
They was doing the same thing. I'm gonna do this. Put your belly on the ground. Put your hands on the back. No, turn over this way. Do this. So he, in my opinion, I would have done the same thing.
Yeah, I don't know what to do here.
I would have got up and ran.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what he did. He got up and ran, and they caught him 3 houses away from his mom's house. Was his parents' house. 3 houses away from his parents' house. That's where they beat him at. So when you hear, like in the video, when you hear him when they beating him, when you hear him scream out, "Mom," or "Mama," it's heartbreaking because we all have been there as a child.
Yeah.
So when he did that, it took me back to a place when I was a child and I was in a situation where I needed my mom, but I couldn't see her. I didn't know what she was.
So you was just screaming out.
Just screaming out, "Mom."
Yeah.
Same thing they did with same thing when
it's instinctual.
It's instinct. Like it's like you like it's in you. My mother is gonna save me. My father is gonna save me.
If they can get here.
If they can just get here. He was running back to his parents' house. 3 houses away. Can you imagine as a parent? I can't imagine that's like you being so far away, running to my house for safety.
So close.
Like for safety.
Yeah.
And you're down there and something happened to you, something like that. And how would I feel? I'm my cousin. So so seeing that
we gotta ride.
Yeah,
it's gotta be blood for
got
blood.
to, yeah, it gotta be. Like, there's no nothing else.
That's also instinctual. Like,
instinctual,
you
bro.
gotta go.
Something has to happen here, bro. So to see, and I'm sitting there watching the video, I'm seeing how they beat it. It's malicious.
Yeah.
Like that, it reminded me of like if you ever seen wild dogs hunt, bro. It's just like that, bro. It's so much like it was like animals like out there.
Yeah.
They was holding his arms back while they was punching him, hitting him with batons, kicking him while he was on the ground in his head. He's not even fighting back. He's damn near being drugged. Like, get up, do this, right? They had to drag him to the car to put him against the car because he wasn't even moving. He was falling over. Hey man, get up, breathe. He can't even like clearly respond to them because they done beat him so bad. He's damn near at one point lifeless down there.
Yeah.
It took the ambulance 20 minutes to get to where he was. 20 minutes. That's why the EMTs and them was getting fired. They even called in other units to come over there. And if you watch the video, I don't know if you ever played sports or whatever, like in basketball, when somebody does something like weird, like a crazy foul, they try to act like they hurt, like they but really they're not really hurt, but they hurt the other person, but they trying to act like they are equal. So they did this thing where like when they did it, they were talking to each other like, oh yeah, man, he was going for your gun, right? He was going for your gun. He was going for what's the name gun?
Trying to suggest that they had probable cause.
Because they know they on the body cam.
Yeah.
And the person that the video cam that they have is kind of turned away from everything. It's only because of that street cam that they really got caught like that. So when you like when I'm sitting there watching the video and seeing everything happen, bro, they had no empathy for that man's life. They had no, like, this is like just take away from the thing being black and white, blue and black. There was no the human aspect
no
was not
regard
there.
for this man's life.
None.
And to add insult to injury it was no cause for it.
None. Not for that.
You just did it to do it.
It is never a cause for what I seen.
Yeah.
Like, there was nothing. First of all, you had the car. He ran from the car. You had the car.
Yeah.
You down there had him on your body cam. You would get him later.
Yeah. If that was the case.
If that was the case, you would definitely get him later. Almost any, like when I was sitting there listening to it, it was other like police officers talking about. He said, bro, if you had the car and the license plate and you knew who he was, you could just go back and get him later. It was nothing. It was no reason for this to happen.
Yeah, even if you were really concerned about that infraction.
Yeah, infraction. Yeah. Not like he murdered somebody. He had anything wanted. He was a danger to society.
Somebody right now. He was just
quote unquote traffic infraction.
So my thing is, what is it in them that makes them like what's the point of that?
What you mean?
Like why they would do that in the first place and why they would do that so often? Is it to be like to
the unit or the police?
The unit. To be like, is it to promote this air of like we are intimidating? Like don't nobody mess with anybody around here unless we say so? Like
I don't know what the intention is, but it's the human aspect of somebody being a human being upset and having to run or having to deal with a person, a suspect, and they're not doing what they said. Is this an emotional thing that you think you can get away with?
And probably those things like, you know how they do the experiments where they take normal people and they
put them in positions of power,
and then they start.
It's the same thing. It's always like that with the police. When we have these incidents like that, it's always an abuse of power. We keep hearing it, but we never break it down the way that we need to.
Yeah.
Abuse of power is like anytime when you leave a student in charge of a class, when the student is out, when the teacher's out, there's some aspect of immaturity there the way he's going to abuse the power.
Right.
I don't like you, so I'm gonna make sure you don't say anything. If you say anything, I'm gonna kick you out of class and say that it was your fault that you did this.
Yeah.
So when I have a badge and I have a little bit of power, I get to beat the hell out you. And then when I go to court or when they do an investigation, when my own police department does an investigation on me because they know me, I know I'm gonna get away with it.
Yeah.
Yes, I have a body cam on. Yes, I can turn it off and nothing's gonna happen because I done that shit before.
Yeah.
Because I done this before and because I can do this and I have been doing it, that's why I feel so comfortable with doing this type of stuff because I'm gonna get away with it.
Yeah.
That's why.
Time and time again.
Time and time again. The problem is these when you look at other countries, they have an understanding that they are not above the law. So when we come back into our country, we have a hard time understanding why these people do this, because they don't understand that you are here to uphold the law. And for you to uphold the law, you have to understand that you are below the law. You can only uphold something if you're below it, but they don't have that understanding. They think they are the law or above it.
That's a bar. That's a bar.
That's the problem.
That's a good thing. It's hard to hold something else if you're above it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Then you pulling it up.
Yeah, then you pulling it up.
Pulling it up.
That's all you doing.
You're here to do this.
Yeah, that's what you
want to
doing.
do this.
That's what you're supposed to be
doing,
do dog.
This. Yeah.
That's the problem, bro. And you see it all in this video. The arrogance, the entitlement.
Thinking that we just beat this man.
Not even concerned. Now we creating a story.
Yeah.
Now instead of calling like
run of the mill. This is what we do. We just bring this down to the precinct. They gonna whoop de whoop.
We gonna make a police report, lied about it clearly.
Yeah.
Lied about it, and then that's what you present, and then now you in trouble. One of the police officers was already in trouble for doing like something to an inmate, smashing his head into a sink. Darius Haley.
Oh no, not Darius.
No, I'm sorry. I think his name Demetrius. Demetrius Haley. I'm glad
you gotta go. Yeah. You gotta go. He besmirching the name. He gotta go.
Yeah, so it's like he already got in trouble with something. Plus it was Cornell Kenny was the guy who was trying to get some pizza, and they put the guns to him and stuff, allegedly.
Yeah.
And then he called for an internal affairs to actually do a review, like, hey, they did this to me. Y'all need to look into this. That's the problem. How do you expect people to be reprimanded if you having the same people they are supposed to be going to reprimand, like to investigate them?
There's supposed to be a whole different department. It's supposed to be other people who ain't invested in these people that be supposed to evaluate them and see like how they need to be punished.
But I can't imagine. I think the trainers of the police station need to be fired too, bro. Because if you have 5 to 6 people on one person and you can't subdue them, bro, with the weapons that you have, bro, that's a problem.
Trash.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
I watched them do that, bro. It's 2 people on them, and there's a one man just kicking them in his face.
Weren't some of them like off duty or weren't in like officer clothes or something?
They was off duty on with the Cornell Kenny. He said there was unmarked cars, but this one I don't think so. Well, it looked like everybody had on
the uniform.
Oh. I don't remember seeing anybody without one.
Were they in like?
But it could be that they were, but I don't remember nobody not having their.
Yeah, were they like riding together? Like, was it 5 different police cars?
It was a few. It was a few different police. Well, not. It was a few police cars. Because I know at one point they pepper sprayed themselves. At one point they pepper sprayed themselves. So there's one officer, the main officer, the white officer. I think he had used the pepper spray and kind of sprayed everybody. And then he actually tased them. I don't know who did the pepper spray.
So there was a white officer there?
Yeah, they fired. They just fired him.
I've only been seeing the 5 black officers they got rid of.
They fired his ass too. He was the last. Not the last. He was the latest one. And then they fired like 3 of the EMTs. And then it was like 2.
Why did it take so long for the EMTs to get there?
I don't know, but it took them a minute for them to even like help him out when they got there. Allegedly.
That's a wild story, man. Like, besides, from what I heard, it was a pretty brutal video. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if anybody could just beat them charges. Anybody.
That's another thing about it. It's like the one thing I didn't like about it is the consensus of like we all came together and say this is wrong.
Right.
The problem with that is just like if they was white, will we all come to the same conclusion?
Yeah.
How much of we have known about, Tyre Nichols if this was white officers? We have known that he dealt drugs a long time ago when he was a kid. Do we know that he got suspended from school when he was in 5th grade?
Yeah.
Like what we have known, what would the research have done if it was like all white officers? But because they're black, it's easy for white people to get on board with that. And because black people already have a thing with police officers, and we understand that just because you black, once you become a police officer, now you're blue.
Yeah.
But because this is all black people, it's easy for white people to understand, oh, that was wrong.
Yeah.
That was the problem I also had of it.
When it's white officers involved, you get that benefit of the doubt.
You get that benefit of the doubt. Because even with that, the white officer was the first to interact with what's his name? And he got fired later.
Yeah.
He was the one that released the taser and was the one that I watched his body cam first. He was the last officer to get like
Was he involved with the beating?
He was the one that got.
He was throwing punches.
Nah, he was. I don't think he was at the secondary location.
That's what I'm saying. Like, was he one of the ones?
Nah, I don't think he was at the secondary.
Because I think the only thing saving him is that you sound like he tried to use like.
But now he pulled them out, and then they had got
Oh, he pulled him out the car.
Yeah, he was the first. It was him and another officer that first interacted with him. When they first got there.
And then the Scorpion team met him.
I think he's also on the Scorpion team. Oh, that was the Scorpion team that was there. And then he ended up getting away. I think it was like 3 officers there on the first time. And he ended up getting away and taking off.
Yeah.
And then they found him somewhere like going towards his parents' house. But yeah, I think they caught him because he was like wiping his face. And they was like, oh, that must be him because of the pepper spray. So yeah, bro, that was it. When I say, I was like, but this is like I say, bro, if you ever seen Wild, it was like, it was focused. It was intentional. It was like malicious. It was like, and then when you see it and then you understand why those animals do that, they do it for survival.
Yeah.
It looks bad, but you gotta think they gotta eat. This is the only way to get. They gotta kill something to eat. Like what was the?
There wasn't.
Like, do y'all need what was needed for y'all to do this to where y'all felt this inside to do this?
To this not only human being, like
anything, bro. Anything. To me. Let alone the empathetic feeling that you get by seeing somebody that look like you.
Yeah.
Just to take away that part. Another black man and the other black man. Just take away that part. Because when I'm watching it, bro, he's in defense mode. I never see him swing or like nothing. He's always like kind of blocking. It's not a thing where he's like trying to like fight back or nothing like that. They putting him in uncomfortable position. He's trying to like kind of wiggle out of that.
Yeah.
Like you bending my arm back. Like if I bend your arm back, I'm gonna feel like
I'm gonna need to get up out of there.
Put your arm back there. That's not how my arm goes back there. Like, you doing stuff like that. Like it's an instinctive thing to kind of like fight back and resist when you put me in an uncomfortable position. You got me on my chest. I can't breathe. It's 2 of y'all on me. I'm gonna try to wiggle out of this.
Yeah. That's instinctual.
Instinctual, bro, because I'm trying to survive. The only person that was in survival mode in this instance was Tyre Nichols.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're doing. I don't.
That's how you're doing it for sport.
Yeah, it's almost like, what I'm saying, they doing it like this is I feel good by doing it.
Yeah. Whatever, like, it's a transfer of emotion. Like whatever hard day they had, whatever they feel, they putting it in that man.
Yeah, bro. I don't know what.
Whatever disrespect they feel, struggle they feel, you here, so you gonna have to reap what we've sowed.
Yeah.
They need to be. They probably they got them in protective custody or something, or they got them in general population.
I think also the reason why that decision came down swiftly, not just because they was black and it was less empathy there for them to protect them, but because it was so bad. That video was so bad. They knew if they released this video and they didn't already relieve them of duty or fire them or try to charge them or say charges coming,
it was gonna be a problem.
It was
gonna be a problem.
That seed was going to
hit. Because I ain't seen. Well, I didn't watch the video, but from what I heard, like,
bro, can you like have my boy arms like this?
Yeah,
standing up, but picking him up to get him on his feet to have somebody.
Like, I can't think of another video, say less, Rodney King, of them just going off on somebody like that.
That was crazy, bro. They gonna get all.
I don't know if there anybody involved in that could have defended that. Like, cause
that was murder, bro. That was murder. That's exactly what that was. That, in my opinion, that was murder.
That's what they're getting charged for, right? Or is it manslaughter?
I don't know what it is, but it should definitely be that.
Straight up murder.
That was a different type of like. I mean, of course, I've seen worse based upon like people being shot, crazy like like he didn't even have nothing.
Nah,
but I ain't never seen nothing.
To me, not just saying getting shot is better or worse. For me, this situation is worse because that man had to live through that. Like they ran that man through the gauntlet. Like it ain't like pow, you shot and you blade out, you dead. Like they purposely made that man life harder for how long? Picking him up. Beating his body.
It was almost like 4 minutes.
4 minutes, that man before he passed out, or was it?
The video is like, the first video was like 20-something minutes, but it shows like the after and then before, and then when he ran, then when we watch like the video, I think it's like almost 4 minutes.
And it's heartbreaking because you're thinking like that this man last moments, he like, what? Like mama. Like is this how I'm gonna die? Like this is how it ends? Like what did I do to deserve this? Like
I watched an interview with his grandmother, bro. I had to turn that shit off.
I can't do that.
Yeah, turn
them
off.
Man, them dudes need to be worked over.
They
need to be worked over. They need to be worked over the same way.
That's wild, bro. Like I say, bro, I don't advise nobody to really, especially if you already. And that's what I'm saying too, bro. Like that's, and people gonna say, well, he shouldn't have ran this with it, but why wouldn't he?
Why wouldn't I?
Why wouldn't I run?
Mm-hmm. To stay there and get the same.
Why wouldn't I run? I'm by myself. It is dark. I don't know who these people are. I feel like I ain't done nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You twisting my arm back. You keep threatening. I'm a like you. I think one of them said, one of them threatening his life. Like, hey, you know what I'm saying? You gonna stop, bro. We gonna blow you. You gonna shoot you. And then the other, bro, I'm gonna tase you. I'm doing. Hey, man, I'm about to get up. Because when he was calm, bro, he said, man, what did I do? He looking at what they yelling, like three people yelling at him when he got on the ground. He like, you need to do this, you need to do. He said, but y'all are doing a lot right now. What did I do? Why are you doing this?
Officer's job, first thing, is to de-escalate the situation.
But who's training that? Who's training? It is clearly not working.
To me, it is
clearly not working.
Like if you do go through the training, you go through the training and get it over with. But then it's like my homeboy. He was like, in graphic design school, we was trained to like sketch our ideas out before we move on to the computer, so we can have a better idea of what we doing when we get to the computer, so we're not wasting time.
Mm-hmm.
He said he had an experience where, and what we all learned was he was like, he finally had got a job in like an agency or whatever. And he put out a sketchbook, and then the other designer laughed at him. He's like, this ain't how it work in the real world. Yeah. You did what you had to do to get through whatever training you had to get through, but we don't got time for that. Like we need this ad in an hour. Like you ain't got time to be sketching stuff like that. So police departments, they do whatever bullshit they gotta do to get through their class. Yeah. But when they get outside, it's training day.
This is how
it works in the real world. Yeah,
you're right.
This is how it works in the real world.
I get that. So yeah, but it's training still trash. If you can't associate, like you can't get those people to believe, or you can't get like the correct information on how to train people in real situations. You're doing these ideal situations, then the training is still trash.
If 100%. That's not what they're doing, but they also need to train them to understand, which will also need the backing of like real consequences. If you don't do this shit,
we taking your pension.
We putting you in jail. We doing X, Y, and Z. But ain't no threat, man. We ain't got to do any of this.
I'm taking your pension, bro. That's what I'm doing.
401ks.
No more qualified
benefits. You lose a certain amount of benefits. You keep doing it. And then they got to be like, what out here now? People don't want to be officers anymore.
That's fine. We get people that actually want to follow the rules and do that then. That's
you
fine.
You gotta be one.
You ain't gotta be one. Somebody is gonna grow up and want to be a police officer and they're gonna be willing to do the things that needs to be done to be that.
You know what I'm saying? Like I know there's an argument, good apples and bad apples, but there are decent cops out there who do their job and look out for people. I like them cops that
disagree. I disagree.
Oh, you don't think any decent cops out there? Why?
Because I think when you first get there, you're a decent cop. I think those first few months maybe. Yeah. But once you see something wild, and you don't say nothing, you become part of them.
Become part of the problem?
You become part of the problem. Once you see something out of pocket, regardless of the fear that you have, maybe they'll do something to you, you'll get fired, you get desk duty, whatever it is that keeps you from telling or turning on the blue wall that may be whatever they call it is. Yeah. Once you see something and you do not do nothing, you become a bad cop, in my opinion. You ain't shit just like they ain't.
So we say every cop that has an experience.
Yeah. Every cop that has seen something, been involved in something, and didn't tell, didn't report, didn't testify on what another cop did, like a real bad cop, like a cop that did something that was against the law or against the rules or whatever the case is. Once you see it and you don't report it, you just a part of the system.
So what's the time limit on that?
Whenever you see it.
Like if I started 6 months ago, am I still a good cop now?
Whenever you see it. In my opinion, whenever you see it.
So there are good cops. It's just a matter of time before
they see
something.
That's what I said. I said before with that when they first get in there, maybe. But once you see something, it's over with. Once you see something and you don't do nothing,
but
you're a part of the problem.
That's also cops that they don't do shit in front of because they know better.
I get you.
But them cops end up like that's the ones get put on desk duty.
Yeah.
So I'm still a cop, but I ain't really.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm out here. I'm in here.
Yeah, I'm in here.
Those are the only ones
they keep me inside.
But if you done seen something, that's part of the same thing, bro.
I like to see them. This rain. I like seeing them cops that are like the ones that are squabble with somebody. Like I'm gonna take off this badge.
Yeah, that's the ones I like to say. I appreciate.
And we can get down. Don't even worry about all this.
I appreciate.
Get it off, bro.
I appreciate those. Even though it ain't right, I appreciate it.
So, yeah, I mean it ain't.
Yeah, it ain't.
I mean, on different levels.
Yeah, it's on different. It's like I'm one. I'm trying to become one with the community. You know that. Speaking of community, crazy thing about the black community.
Yeah,
this is what we want. We want people that look like us patrolling our neighborhoods. That's what we want. We want the people that look like us.
Supposed to be the ideal situation.
Supposed to be an ideal situation, and here y'all are doing this.
Monkeys.
Straight up. Wild dogs, in my opinion. They just need to be put down.
You supposed to be the best of us.
And this is what y'all did. Because most of when you see everybody come to that situation, when they call the other units, it's mostly black. You see, I'm like, yo,
if anybody's supposed to look out for us, it's supposed to be us. So what are we doing? And that's why, like, I know, you see the Tucker Carlson and Sean Hannity's trying to use this as, you see, it's not a race thing, you know what I'm saying?
It is a race thing.
It's a race thing. I don't even understand
how you take
it's
away
a power thing. You know, Sean Hannity, more white people die of police deaths than anybody. First of all, you got to consider the ratio, versus white versus black population, how many people dying versus white people based on population. But also you got to consider the manner in which they die. And also you got to consider the repercussions of what happens when they die.
Ooh, I like
they not putting all that. Because you know what I'm saying? I remember a while back, the black cop got fired for like breaking the hand of somebody with the nightstick. You remember that? Mm-mm. I think that was around the same time like the George Floyd stuff was happening. Mm-hmm. Black dude doing his job, white person was like in the wrong. He like hit a hand, broke his hand. He got fired for that. Mm. You know what I'm saying? So it's like even when we do our job, we still get like unharshly unharshly, is that a word? No, it's not. We still get punished worse than like other cop or whatever. But oftentimes you see white people that come up with complaints about the police or whatever, or something that happened to them. What happened? Mm-hmm. They get hurt and something happens.
Unless they're poor.
Unless they're poor and it's not in the the officer's interest.
Yeah. So you also got to remember that part. That's a big part of it, because it's not just race all the time. It's also the tax bracket.
Right.
How much are these people contributing to the city or the community, and who knows who?
Because depending on the area, it ain't gonna be a good day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
it all depends. None of that shit should matter.
Right.
But it does. Yeah. It equates to what a person does and how that person does that. And how those officers respond to different people. Yeah. So it's like that's the problem, bro. It's not that's not the only problem. And of course it's a race thing. Because when you look at like the poorest people and those certain type of neighborhoods and what neighborhoods get policed the most, you look at the percentage where 17% of the time police escalate the situation with black and brown people, or when you look at the statistics of, you know what I'm saying, people who get pulled over, black and brown people get pulled over 2.5 times more than their white counterpart, even though they do drugs and other things at the same rate. Or when you look at just the system, them just getting arrested and going to get sentenced, they getting more time doing the same thing as their white counterpart.
So, and the thing you have to honestly ask yourself is why.
Yeah,
that's the problem. Is
why?
What makes this? Do you think we inherently, like, because that's do you think we inherently are just bad people? Mm-hmm. Do you think, you know what I'm saying, like you saying we do the same things at the same rate?
Same rate.
But for some reason,
this is a factual thing. We
are policed more harshly.
This is a factual thing, and it's less of us. It's less black and brown people than they are white people, and we do the same. Matter of fact, white people do more crime statistically than blacks, but yet we get more time. We in jail for. We in jail. There's more of us in jail. We get stopped more. We get harassed more.
And by rate, and by the admittance of all these police stations that give the information freely, their own statistics, and their own account of things that happen, they be like, yeah, we'll go to the black neighborhood.
Of course, if I need to make a quota,
I'm gonna go to the minority neighborhoods because I know they ain't gonna fight back.
I watch this councils like the CNN of these black officers. They was like, yeah, we go to these neighborhoods, we'll mess with the gays or the blacks or some of these people because I know they don't have the money to fight it. They're gonna get a appointed lawyer that's not gonna really want to do their case. It's easier for us to get away with it because we're gonna know those people. On these, instead we go uptown where people may know people at, or they have the money or the resources to fight back.
Yeah,
and we may lose that. We go to where our percentages of winning are higher.
And there's no coincidence.
So I was like, "Come on!"
It's like, but it's like, and you can't. And people use it like you were saying. That's evidence that it's about class and not much. But you can't separate race and class in America.
And two things can be true at once, bro.
It can be both. You have to calculate how much each one is affecting.
Well, if it is about class, why is the black people so far down? Is it because of racism they have them down here? So it is about race, ultimately.
Yeah.
Because of the opportunities that we don't have is okay. Cool. That's what I was trying to make sure.
Just say what it is, bro. Just be honest, man. Like,
just be honest, dog. That's the problem, bro. That's why I'm at with that.
People don't want to be honest, man. And it's like, what's gonna happen because of this situation? What's really gonna change?
Nothing, bro. Nothing. They gonna go to jail maybe, and they were like, well, look, we did our job as a community, as a society. We did our job because they did something wrong and we locked them up.
Yeah, that shouldn't happen though.
Yeah,
I don't want things like that to happen anymore.
But when another pack of wild dogs that may not be, you know what I'm saying, their fur may not be as the same color as these particular dogs, what's gonna happen then?
These albino dogs.
These albino, you know what I'm saying, lack of melon dogs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When they do something, what's gonna happen then?
That's the real test.
That's the real test.
That's the real test. And I think if you look at every situation, they're probably like a situation like this with white officers. But they probably got handled.
Mm-hmm.
And they probably never let that break major news. And they won't.
Bro, a lot of times when I see stuff, like when I be looking on the news, bro, I see stuff and I'll be like, they'll be like, well, we released a video a year later. A year later? I'll be like, what happened? Like, hold on, what happened here? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, why? I'll be watching like videos, like, this is a year later. Somebody died, or this person did something completely wrong. What makes this? It's because of how much news is being covered, how much pressure they putting on them. But I don't blame the news all the time because it's like it's so many incidents. When do you choose to put the pressure on what?
Yeah.
At what point do we say, okay, we will put pressure here? Like if there's 100 stories, like where do we apply the pressure?
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna wait till Facebook, the social media points it out for us, and then we're gonna say, okay, we're gonna attach ourselves to this. Because this is where we're going to have the most news at. There's like a kid who got shot by like some white guy, and he's out on bail walking around because he claims self-defense. Nobody's really talking about that. And it happened twice with him, and then something else happened in another state. Damn near the same thing. I think that kid was like 13 though.
I vaguely remember that.
Yeah, vaguely. I vaguely remember that because people stopped talking about it.
A lot of nonsense out here, man. A lot of things that are avoidable. Like you were saying earlier, the dude was like Cornelius. They would have just did their job and actually like
Cornell Kennedy, I think his name is.
Tried to reprimand these people and check them and let them know. Could have saved the man's life and saved themselves the trouble of having to deal with all this media shitstorm. If everybody would just did their job.
I'm tired of whenever the department gets sued, man, they take the money out of what they take the money out of the state, right?
They need to take it out themselves.
Take it out of the police department.
Yeah, that's y'all money that y'all
got enough to buy all these Black History cars and like this Black History Month cars and trying to, oh, this vehicle was bought with drug money from people we arrested. Yeah, take that money.
Take that money then.
Yeah, we need that from you.
Take them pensions.
Touch them pensions.
All you got to do is de-escalate the situation and go home.
2 things I think that should happen. Black people should get life insurance for sure. More people should get life insurance, period. They'll put pressure on banks and people that's losing money from police doing bullshit that they do. 2, that money should come out of those the police pockets, whether it be through the department or through the individual. They would take a percentage out the police department, take the percentage out the state, and then take a percentage out the pension.
With every infraction, you lose a certain percentage of your paycheck.
And I don't want
you can't run from it. You can't get another job.
That's the fact. There's no qualified immunity. There's no, your union can't save you.
Depending on the infraction. Like if you did something like this, every job you go until you pay that amount back, you gotta.
And I don't know why we have problems in this country and how we demonize unions when you can see the best union ever to assemble is the police union. That's what I understand. Like I don't know why when people just be agreeing that we shouldn't have unions because unions does this. Look at the police department. Look how much wrong they do. How much they get away with.
They make it a good example. If they use an example, well, not for you. I mean, if they want to demonize unions, they would use them as an example of like how they can run amok.
Yeah,
because they in control and can't nobody check their ass. If you on the right, you say unions are bad. Look at this union. But they can't do that because that's the police. So it's like we gonna turn our head and focus on these unions that actually help.
Depending on what side you are, unions are the best example. Unions are the best example no matter what side.
Yeah.
Whether you demonizing them or holding them up. Police union is the best union to use for an example.
I wouldn't touch that one. That wouldn't be on my list of unions.
No, I'm saying like if I'm a regular worker, if I work at Sam's Club, and I seen what the police union does to keep their people employed or how well they protect them, then yes, I'm advocating for a union for at Amazon or anywhere else.
Yeah.
But if I'm against unions, then I would point out unions in the police department saying, look, this is what happens when you in a union because they protect like this bad stuff and people get away with stuff. Depending on what side you are, the police union is a good example on either side.
Yeah.
No, they bad.
I need to do an exam. I need to look into the police union too.
Oh, but you get into that, but you're gonna be like, oh, you can make it. You should do a video on that.
Yeah.
You can break that down. You can break that down like you can break down qualified immunity. You know what I'm saying? How they still get hired on different areas, even though.
So it's so much reform that need to happen.
That's a fact.
Police union.
But I think a percentage should be taken out of all 3: the police department, the pension of the individuals that's involved, and also the state. When it comes down to lawsuits. And I think black people or anybody else that's abused by police, and it's clear, I understand that y'all do take the settlement, but I don't think it should be, I think it should always be open to the public, and I also think you shouldn't settle. You should take it as far as you say you think you need to, especially when their life is gone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I won't. I think, so they'll probably settle for something. In this case,
well, undisclosed amount.
Yeah, but they still got to be charged.
Oh,
they can't escape that. Yeah. So I'm not gonna say they're gonna come out ahead because they lost a relative.
Yeah.
So you can't. No amount of money's gonna bring you back, but it's probably gonna cost for what happened.
But it should be a hit to the department.
I
want y'all to be able not to like have like y'all little parties that's in y'all budget.
Yeah, if y'all having Friday pizza party,
I want that gone.
Yeah,
I want that gone.
That's a
them
wrap.
New guns, them P90s, all that. I want that gun.
Now y'all gotta work with regular.
Y'all gotta use with revolvers. Y'all gotta use revolvers.
Y'all gotta use muskets.
You know what I'm saying?
If you wanna make people's lives harder, we should be able to make your job harder.
That's a fact, bro. That would hold accountability for everybody else.
Yeah.
Hey, that would make me tell on somebody if I'm already scared.
I ain't trying to lose my pension.
Hey, bro, what you doing, bro? I just got this.
Yeah.
You see these new outfits, bro? You ain't about to. We got the new vehicle outside, bro.
Bro.
They gave us back the Crown Vics. Yeah. We back in Crown Vics.
We got Teslas out there, bro.
Come on, man. What you doing?
We got it made over here.
You about to mess up the whole Police department. That'll make something shake.
Yeah. Touch their pockets.
Hey, I turn on the air. Nah.
Yeah, people scared to turn on the air.
What? You gotta get a fan or something.
You gotta get a fan, bro. No, AC money out.
Yeah, so
we use all it up. Yeah, that'll shake them up. But then, you know, they be like, don't nobody want to be police officers anymore.
Like at one time, when that black woman got in charge, everybody left. I need to do a little bit of research and see how that turned out now.
How that played out?
Yeah. But so what? Like I say, man, there's always kids and people coming out of, like, people need meaningful stuff. And they'll do just like anything else. Like when the restaurant industry was messed up, what they do? They bumped up from 7 to 15.
You give somebody something that's worth losing, they'll protect.
Yeah.
You give somebody, you know what I mean? But if you got these cops that, you know, make most of their money on the side anyway.
40,000.
Yeah, 40,000. And to be honest with you, like, I know cops like to hide behind their jobs and dangerous stuff, but from what I hear,
I don't think it's top 10.
Most of their daily interactions is them in their car or them just being somewhere posted up.
Hold up, man. Top 10 most.
Lumberjack one.
The lumberjack, yeah, it's always double way. Dangerous. I looked it up one time. I was like, how dangerous is these jobs? And it was like
I think we got 10 seconds left.
All right, man. Welcome to Mind the Gap. We love
love you. You know what I'm saying?
Y'all
Thank you for
joining
us.
being here.
We'll
Appreciate
see
it.
you later.
See you later. Hey.